Welcome back. This month, we are going to elevate our communication skills by focusing on presentations and public speaking. Welcome back to Mastering English Communication. This is Presentation Skills Month 5. If you joined at the beginning of the year, it is May now. And just in case this is the first time, you do not have to uh, feel that you're going to be left out because you can start here and revisit the other sections of the journey later. This is a 12-month journey. So we're going to draw on what you mastered in April. And so if you have not seen April, you should revisit April or visit April. And in April, we focused on clarity and live interaction. Now we're going to work on delivering structured talks that engage and inform. So get ready to practice concise speeches, integrate smooth transitions, and respond confidently to audience questions. So get your pen, get your paper, and let's get started. So, just as a quick recap, for those of you that saw April very early on, or maybe have not seen it, so you'll have an idea of what is there. In April, you sharpened your telephone and video conferencing skills. We live in an era where video conferencing and live streaming are all around us, and we're interacting with that all the time. So, you learned how to stay poised under time-sensitive conditions. Those real-time communication habits, active listening, which I talk about a lot, and in my other video lessons, clear enunciation. I also speak about that a lot in other video lessons, and professional demeanor. This sets the stage for May's or this month's deeper dive into formal presentation, something that scares many people and it doesn't have to. So we're going to show you how to relax and become more confident and better at it. And structure becomes essential. So we're going to share that with you. So just as a quick recap from month 4 or April, we looked at telephone skills, video conferencing, active listening, and clear enunciation. So what are our key objectives for May? This month, you'll tackle 3 main goals. First, delivering short, informal talks to gain speaking comfort. Second, creating and presenting a more polished speech with a clear beginning, middle, and end. And third, reinforcing audience engagement by preparing for brief question and answer sessions, or as we say, Q&A, and practicing something called transitions. So to begin, craft quick 2-minute speeches to introduce yourself or share a personal interest. In other words, this is a great way to answer the question, uh, so tell me about yourself, right? That is something that you will hear. So instead of waiting for someone to ask you to do that, you're doing that when you introduce yourself in a presentation. This is also something that will come in handy in interviews, which is also something I speak a lot about in my video lessons on business English. Now, these short talks help you adjust to speaking in front of others without the pressure of a detailed script. Focus on breathing, eye contact, and enunciating your words. Small details that build a strong speaking foundation. When you're starting small with an informal talk, that's a brief introduction that reduces fear. And this is something that you can practice regularly. So you will build your confidence and relieve any anxiety. So now, if you're finding this information useful so far, please like, share, and subscribe. Now we're progressing to structured presentations. Once you're comfortable with many introductions, move on to 5 or 10 minute talks. And just by the way, there are many resources online, so doing a simple search will show you how to structure these mini introductions. So no problem there. Plenty of resources. Just pick one that you feel works best for you. So you want to start with a powerful opener, cover 2 or 3 main points, and wrap up cleanly. Now, this structure ensures your content is clear and memorable. Remember to use your voice and body language to support your message. So you wanted the foundation is an introduction. Then you come to the body, organize 2 to 3 clear points. And then at the top is or the last part is a conclusion. Summarize and end as memorable as is appropriate. Now, remember I mentioned something about transitions. So this is about using transitional phrases. Words like moreover, on the other hand, and in addition, guide your audience from one idea to the next. Remember, this is business English, and these are business meetings or more formal settings or academia. So these are going to be environments where structure is required and expected. And so you want to practice these transition phrases to create a smooth, logical flow in your presentation. Transitions prevent confusion and let listeners follow your argument or your presentation with ease. So on the screen, you'll see in terms of adding information, I just have 3 sample ones. Furthermore, in addition, moreover. Then in terms of contrasting ideas, I have, however, on the other hand, nevertheless. And then in terms of concluding thoughts, I have in conclusion, to summarize, and finally, right? There are others in these categories. Once again, do a little homework if you feel that you want to use others in addition to these or in place of these. A simple search online and you'll start to come up with these resources. And of course, other video lessons, I share others as well. Incorporating brief question and answer sessions. So you should definitely build short Q&A segments into your talk. This will simulate real-world presentations. Encouraging audience questions keeps them involved, keeps them engaged, and helps you develop quick thinking skills. So it works for both sides, right? Because you want to have quick thinking skills, as we say in English, you want to be able to think on your feet. And if you're unsure how to answer, stay calm. Acknowledge the question or the query and provide the best response you can, showing both competence and poise. And there's nothing wrong if you don't have the full answer to say that you will get back to them in some way in the near future. So when you incorporate brief Q&A sessions, you invite questions, you are able to think on your feet, you create interaction, and you provide value. Videotaping your presentations. So recording yourself is a powerful tool for self-evaluation. Not enough people do it. So you should do it. I encourage it. I'm on camera quite a bit in other areas of my business. And so you're able to see how you look, how you act, if you have habits that you, what we will call unconscious habits that you do. So you want to evaluate yourself. And it also allows you to improve your English skills because you're able to play back and sort of grade yourself and see where you want to improve, right? You want to review your posture, facial expressions, and vocal dynamics. By seeing yourself as the audience does, you can spot habits to adjust, like you're fidgeting or speaking too softly, and make each presentation stronger than the last. Analyzing body language. So body language speaks volumes or a lot during a presentation. Work on standing upright, using controlled gestures, and maintaining steady eye contact. Smiling where appropriate and moving with purpose can help establish rapport, while avoiding tense moments or tense movements keeps you looking and feeling more relaxed. One of the resources I strongly recommend, and I was a member for many years, there's a nonprofit organization called Toastmasters International. So you can certainly look them up online. And this is an organization that is nonprofit and all volunteer, where a group of people will come together and dedicate themselves to proper communication and leadership, building those skills, right? So this is a great way for you to go about building those skills. I was a member for many, many years. So in terms of body language, once again, eye contact, purposeful gestures, relaxed posture. Practicing voice control. So the strength of your voice can energize or disengage your listeners. Vary your pitch and pace to emphasize key points and pause occasionally so your audience can absorb the information. Steady volume and clear pronunciation signal confidence, and keep your listeners focused on your message. So in terms of practicing voice control, strategic pauses, word emphasis, tone variation, volume adjustment. Managing nervousness. All of us get nervous. Even professional speakers get nervous. That's not a bad thing, right? Because you're excited about what you're going to do, you're prepared to do it, and now you're ready to get started. So even seasoned speakers experience what we call the jitters or nervousness. You want to channel those nerves into motivation. Prepare thoroughly, visualize success, and breathe deeply before speaking, reminding yourself that small mistakes often go unnoticed, but can help you stay calm and deliver a more authentic and confident presentation. Remember, the audience wants you to be successful or to succeed. So managing nervousness, deep breathing, positive visualization, keep moving forward, preparation. Structuring practice sessions. So dedicate each week to a specific target. Begin with short, improvised talks to build comfort, then move to structured content with clear transitions. Add a question and answer or Q&A segment in the third week for an extra challenge. And end the month with a polished, recorded presentation that showcases all your progress. All right. So week 1, personal introductions. Week 2, structured talks. Week 3, Q&A practice. Week 4, final recording. Gathering feedback. Constructive feedback from trusted peers or colleagues can pinpoint details you might overlook, like pacing or filler words. Encourage them to focus on strengths as well as growth areas. No one wants to hear what they did wrong all the time, right? There's a balance. So you want to hear the things you were strong at, but also the things that you need to strengthen. Embrace their insights and fine-tune your delivery and become a more engaging speaker overall. So in terms of gathering feedback, the 4 areas you should focus on: message clarity, body language, audience engagement, and the organization of your presentation or speech. Emphasizing consistent improvement. Remember, public speaking is an ongoing skill, or as we might say in English many times, it's a journey, not a destination. Each time you present, you gain valuable experience, whether it's learning to use pauses more effectively or connecting better with your audience. Celebrate each sign of progress and keep refining your approach for steady, meaningful improvement. 3 helpful resources for May's activities, right? So the things I'm talking about for this month. One is Talk Like TED. There's a series, in case you haven't heard of it, called TED Talks. So this is a resource by Carmine Gallo, and you can use techniques that in many cases, people are speaking and giving presentations at these talks. They're not expert professional speakers in most cases, but they're experts or they have expertise in some area. Toastmasters International, which I mentioned already. And there's something called Ori, which is a mobile app, right? I don't have any financial relationship with them, but they are a mobile app that you can use, and you can get an AI-driven feedback on your speaking pace, clarity, and filler words, and it will track your progress. So let's look ahead. By the end of May, you'll have a solid grasp of presentation fundamentals, structure, transitions, body language, and question and answer or Q&A tactics. Carry these techniques forward and apply them to any speaking opportunity. And remember, this is month 5, and if that seems like a lot, it's not. You're building on what you've seen before, and certainly if this is your first session that you're viewing in this journey, you'll be able to accomplish this if you follow my plan within this 5th month, let's say. But next month, we're going to build on these successes with more advanced communication strategies, and you need to keep challenging yourself to grow, because you can and you will. All right. See you in month 6. Thank you for your time and attention. And remember, the puzzle consists of delivery, structure, engagement, and confidence. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you next month as we continue our linguistic adventure together. Bye now.